everyone. My name is GAIL TOMARCHIO. Thank you very much for joining us, the members of the Friends Life Care staff, as we like to introduce you to our furry family friends. Pets are family members that don't talk back or give us their opinions, and they just love us unconditionally no matter what we do. So we thought they're so special. We just wanted to introduce them to you and just let you get to know how special they are. So we hope you enjoy getting to know them. And I thought I would start out just by showing you a picture of the boys. Okay, so the boys are two cats that we have, and this is an absolutely wonderful painting that was painted by Maureen Henry, who you will be meeting a little bit later. Her hobby is painting animals, and she painted this for me. So this is Mo on your, I guess on your right, and then this is Larry. So unfortunately, Mo is no longer with us. He died last year in March, when the pandemic first started. So that was like a extra hard thing with the pandemic for us. But Mo was what we would call a dog cat. Mo would be at the door to greet us when we came home. If we had any guests, he was always there to say hello to them. He loved to sit on my husband's shoulder like he was a parrot. And he was just really friendly, and he was always around. His brother Larry is more of a scaredy cat. And he's very sweet. He's got very soulful eyes, and he's a very nice fella, but he will not let you touch him unless you are lying down. You have to be completely flat, lying down. And then he's like really lovable and loves to be kissed and hugged. But if you try to touch him when you're standing up or sitting up, he will not let you do that. So he has this very peculiar personality, but he's very, very sweet, but very special family members. And the names Mo and Larry, my husband is a Three Stooges fan. So that's kind of like, you know, I was able to cut it off at Curly, but we did get Mo and Larry. So, all right. So, and Kirsten right now is going to tell you a little bit about her dog and introduce us to him.
This is my dog, Bella. I'm tempting her with a treat right now. And over here, he's being grumpy. That's Chance, our second dog. He's an American Bulldog, and Bella is a Cane Corso. This is my Rocco. He was a pit bull that my husband and I, that was our first dog together, and he passed away after a 9-month battle of cancer. About a week later, we were out and about, and I just so happened to have a utility bill in my pocket, and we decided to stop at the shelter. Why would I have a utility bill in my pocket? Because I had a trick up my sleeve. We ended up coming home with Chance over here, and his name in the shelter was actually Uncle Henry from The Wizard of Oz, and he was homeless for over a year. He was found in Camden, so we brought him home, and the reason his name is Chance is because we gave him a second chance. This lovely lady over here, my lap is covered in drool. She loves to drool. She loves to snore. She likes to stay next to my desk, and I get paranoid sometimes that on videos you're going to hear her snoring in the background because it's that loud. But Miss Bella here was scheduled to be euthanized. It was a Monday, and around 10 a.m. I decided to go get her while my husband was at work and the kids were in school. So I went to North Philly, picked her up, brought her home, and when my husband came home, we had another dog. She was supposed to just be a foster. I just couldn't pass her up and let her be euthanized because that's just not my deal. She is a good addition. She's very big, she's slobbery, and she has no respect for your personal space. But we are glad that she's been a part of our family now for the past 4 years. My parents I grew up, my parents owned a pet grooming business. They still do here in Delaware County. So it's been over 30 years that they've been in business. So to say we are pet people is an understatement. They currently have 5 dogs right now. I only have 2, and that's the max that we will have. But you know, pets are the only family that you get to choose. So they'll be around for a long time. Next, I'm going to send you over to Cheryl with her cat.
This is my cat, Harley. I adopted Harley from Paws through a former colleague who was fostering him at the time. Harley got his name as a result of his distinctive purr, and despite only having 2 teeth, his favorite activity is eating, closely followed by sleeping and running as fast as he can away from my son, who loves chasing him around the house. Now Kate is going to share her animal with you.
I have 2 basset hounds, and so this is Angus, who is clearly very stressed by this video. And this is pretty common way to find Angus anywhere. And then his litter mate is also equally active. This is Archie. Archie, there he is. They're not dead. There's movement. So I will say that my husband and I have had Labrador retrievers, and they get into all of your food on the countertop. So we thought we'd go with shorter dogs, which is how we ended up with basset hounds. And the biggest alternative to Labrador retrievers when you have a basset hound is that when you have to run out the door and you have to get to that doctor's appointment or pick up the kids because you're going to be late, you'll call the dogs and you'll say, okay, you know, like, hustle, come on in. And basset hounds have one speed, no matter how urgently you need them to get somewhere, and that is mosey. That's it. They are sleeping 89.7% of the day and maybe a little eating, but you will never get anywhere on time. Is that Angus? See how sweet he is with his big ears? Over to you, Haley.
They're a little camera shy, so I thought that I would bring some peanut butter because that's a surefire way. So this is Ollie. He's a terrier. He's half Jack Russell, half Yorkie. And I adopted him from Paws almost 6 years ago now. He was a little abandoned puppy, very sad. He has an anxiety disorder, so he takes lots of pills for that. But you know, we do what we can with him. All right, now it's Shusha's turn. This is Shusha. This is my baby girl. I've had her longer than I've been with my husband. So I told him very early on, don't ever make me choose because I will choose her. But of course he fell in love with her because how could you not? So Shusha's favorite thing is belly rubs. And Ollie's favorite thing is cuddling. Now Gina is going to introduce us to her dog.
This is Lucy. She is a Havanese. She is 8 years old, but everyone always thinks that she's a puppy, and I have to tell them that, yeah, she turned 8 in December. So her 2 favorite things in the world are sleeping and cuddling. And a fun fact about Lucy is that she was terrified of the steps until about a month ago. She always needed to be carried up the stairs, and if you put her on one of the steps, she would just lay down and wait for somebody to pick her up. But we decided at 8 years old that it was finally time for her to learn how to go up and down by herself. So we started slowly teaching her how to use the steps on her own. We would put her little paws up on a step and then kind of like take her back legs to have them follow. And after a ton of encouragement, she can now do a full flight by herself. And I'm still just amazed by it. It's so cute after 8 years not doing the steps at all. But I love this story because I feel like it teaches us an important lesson that you're never too old to learn something new. So Elizabeth?
I had Aggie, AKA Agatha, on my lap until about 5 seconds ago. But since she's a cat and cats do what they want, she decided not to stay for the meeting. But I want to tell you a story about Agatha. She is our hand-me-up pet. We inherited her when our daughter moved to Korea for a year. That was in 2007. She was born in a barn in rural Connecticut in 2005. And her mother, who was a barn cat, rejected her. And Aggie would have died if my daughter and her then boyfriend hadn't heard her crying. She was stuck in one of those plastic water bottles that kids take to soccer practice, and she couldn't back out. So they fed her with a dropper until she could eat on her own. And she displayed her gratitude by being ornery and near feral. They understood that her cat mother never taught her any manners, so they loved her in spite of her disposition. When Aggie came to live with my husband and me in 2007, it was supposed to be for a year, and that clearly didn't happen. But she treated us with the same disrespect. She wouldn't allow us to pet her, much less pick her up. She was an indoor-outdoor cat and pretty much did whatever she wanted. She had a bad habit of climbing a tree outside our bedroom and would knock on the window. She would jump from the tree to the roof outside our window and then knock on the window to be let in. We eventually had to put a cat door in the window so that she could let herself in the wee hours after dark. She also once climbed to the very top of that same tree and refused to come down even in pouring rain. After it had to be 24 hours, I called the local fire department and they actually came out to rescue her. The only creature that she ever showed a real interest in was our dog. He was a very troubled rescue named Bradley, and he wanted no part of her. We never understood why she tried so hard to become his friend, because he was even more ornery than she was. We always imagined that our vets must have shuddered whenever they saw our name on the roster, because both of our pets had big red caution stickers on the front of their files. The story does have a happy ending, despite her very recent behavior. For some reason that remains a mystery to us, Aggie has mostly become a sweet, almost docile cat in her old age. At almost 16 years old, she talks to us, loves to be petted, and sleeps with us almost every night. She's slowed down a bit, she doesn't hear very well, and she struggles to make it to the top of the stairs, but she has changed from a grouchy cat to a nice cat. So this gives me some hope for my own golden years. And I will let Linda tell you about her pet.
My pets are not furry. And I can tell you that I do rescue cats, but that's not who I'm going to talk to you about today. So I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see my feathered friends, my chickens. So if you know me, you know I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 10 years. Prior to that, I was a researcher in molecular microbiology, but prior to that, I was in the poultry world. Yes, poultry. I worked at University of Delaware in their animal science department, which is basically a poultry department. And then actually prior to that, I did my undergraduate at Penn State in animal science, which is a pre-vet course, but I didn't get into vet school. I ended up loving research and did my master's in poultry physiology. My research was on chicken kidneys. Yep, you heard right. And actually before that, I grew up on a farm. So chickens and poultry have been part of my life, all of my life. And when we moved out to Western Chester County, one of the first things I did was have my husband build a pen because of the possible predators we have and to buy some chickens. So here, they're really disinterested. The reason I like them is twofold. One is they are funny, and the other one, of course, they're being very, think cats are weird. They're being very standoffish, but I like them because they are funny. They're scavengers, but they're also, in my opinion, the evolution of velociraptors. They can be quite aggressive. I don't know if you can see the girls running over there, but being scavengers, I can feed them just about anything. And so here I have some spaghetti that I made, and you can see that the girls here are eating them. These two brown ones that you see are called Easter eggers. And the reason they're called that is because here's one of their eggs. It's green. Yeah, unusual. Oh, now everybody else has figured it out. So the golden girl is a buffed Orpington. That gray chicken is actually a Delaware blue hen. And my rooster is staying away from the girls. I only have one rooster. He's like, nah, it's okay, I'm good. Because I told you they're velociraptors. They actually pulled all his feathers off of his tail. So yeah, they are what they are. But I don't eat them, by the way, just eggs. Okay, Jane?
This is Elliot. I'm going to see if I can get him back on the screen. I don't know. Many people have watched him jump back and forth. He is a puggle, which is a pug and beagle mix. Fun fact about puggles, they will eat themselves to death if they could, which is why he's jumping back and forth, because I have a box of bones and he probably got into it one too many times. Elliot's about 10. We got him with the name Elliot. It's an unusual dog name, and it's always something that people laugh about when we go on walks and ask what his name is. But a fun fact about him is we have trouble getting somebody to watch him because he has a weird sleeping habit. He sleeps completely under the covers for the whole night. If he gets hot, he comes out, gets cool again, and then we'll go right back under like he's burrowing. And so it's a little odd when people stay over our house to watch him, and they often ask, can he breathe under there? And the first couple times he did it, we were just as concerned. But he has, over the years, made it near impossible for me to sleep without him because I can't regulate my temperature underneath a cover without a dog there. So he will probably live a few more years with us and runs in the backyard like a puppy with my daughters. But if anyone would like somebody to sleep under the covers with them anytime, he is all yours. I'm going to give you one more look at him. He only behaves for treats. That's the only thing we learned from puppy class. So Ellen, tell us about your pets.
I just have a picture. This is we have joint ownership with my cat Ichiro. You can see him. And another one. And then this is about as close as he gets to snuggling. He is not a snuggler whatsoever. He will let you pet him for a little bit and you think, oh, he's being such a good boy, and then bam, he'll swipe you. So we have like one of those back scratchers, and that's what we do to pet him because you don't know when he's going to attack. And then we actually named him Ichiro because it was like 2011 and he showed up at my parents, and it was the Women's World Cup and the US soccer team was playing Japan. I think they won. So I got inspired by the Japanese and named him Ichiro, which actually means firstborn son. So my dad had to apologize to my brother after we named him. But I also have, because I live in an apartment, I can't get a dog or a cat, but I have two little friends here. This is Satchmo, and he's my little anxiety kitty. He's really cute. And this is Dao Shan, because I named him Dao Shan because I kept calling dachshunds Dachshunds. So I named him Dao Shan, but they're my buddies. And then I have a little corgi, but he stays at my parents' house, a stuffed animal, not a regular corgi. So, oh, all right, Maureen, we'll bring it home here.
Hi, I have two dogs, and this is one. This is Cody. He's a pug. And I have Sammy, a girl, Samantha, who my daughter named. She is a Cavachon. So she is white, fluffy, adorable little girl. And this is my little couch potato, Cody boy. And they couldn't be more polar opposite, the two of them. Cody here is a couch potato, and he loves, his favorite thing to do is to sit on the couch by my side and watch TV with us. And he actually watches the TV. He is so funny because he watches, like the TV shows we like to watch, like Frasier, for instance. He looks out for the animals on the TV, like he knows the dog Eddie on the TV, and he knows what the dog comes in the room or whatever, and he'll run up to the TV barking at them. So he's just so funny. He'll even like scream, and every commercial, I swear, has a dog in it because he's barking at like all the commercials and everything. So, but Sammy, she is the opposite. She's like an Olympic sprinter. She is always looking out the window. She likes to chase after squirrels and dogs and people, and she's looking for the first opportunity to dash out the door. And she has on way too many occasions. That's why I call her the Olympic sprinter, because she's gotten out the door or out the car door. But her favorite thing is to go to the dog park. And so we go to the dog park. Oh, see, his ears perked up. He likes to go too. So they know how to spell, dog park too. So they know how to spell. His favorite thing besides being a couch potato is eating food. As Jane said, if you're part pug, I think that's the pug in them. That's his absolute favorite thing. He will not miss a meal. He would eat himself to death. Absolutely. So that's my two guys. And I just love them so much. And yeah, I have if you don't see Sammy, but here is a little painting. I do paintings just as a hobby. And that's Sammy right there on the rock. So there you have it. And to you, Gail.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our stories and getting to know our pets as much as we all enjoy getting to know each other's pets. I thought it was really interesting to see how everyone's face lit up when they talked about their pets, and it's a true tribute to the healing power of pets. And we sincerely hope that you felt some of that healing today just by watching this video and feel a little extra lighthearted after being with us. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again.